Hello, once again. We're back here in Winter Pride 2020. And stay tuned for the upcoming run of Pokemon Sword and Shield, Tower of Two Fists. We're gonna get the Urshifu in this run by conception. We still have an open bid war for this run between choosing Bulbasaur or Squirtle for the starter we're gonna get in the middle of the run. Right now, Squirtle is very much in the lead with $52 versus Bulbasaur in 25. However, we have still about an hour before we call the incentive. So if you really want to see the fantastic Bulby Boy get into the run, you still have time for that. And with that, we're ready to start into this run. So take it from here, Conception.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I'm so excited to be able to show everybody the Tower of Two Fists run for Pokemon Sword. We're going to be doing some unique changes here. I'll get a little bit more into it once we actually start the timer because we have about a 2.5 minute cutscene. So let me just get our name in here. Of course, we have to rep. There we go. All right, time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Conception2. I'm very excited to be able to show you the Tower of Two Fists run. This is specifically the Get Urshifu category. There are 2 categories for this run now, where we get Urshifu, and then there is one where we don't get Urshifu. It's kind of like a good ending versus a bad ending. So we are doing the good ending run, which is a little bit longer, but it's actually a bit more fun in my opinion. So I'm excited to be able to showcase this for you. What makes this run unique? So we are starting a fresh save file. So we are starting from the very beginning where we still have to get our starter and everything like that. However, when we can, basically as soon and as fast as we can, we're going to jump over to the DLC island, which is called the Isle of Armor rather. And then we are going to completely do the quest line there and evolve our Cubfu into an Urshifu, and that is when the run will end. We do have an open bid war, as Akuyo said, for Squirtle and Bulbasaur. That is still ongoing. That is not our starter Pokemon for the run, so that will still be going on for quite a while. If you have a preference for one or the other, you got to get those donations in. I heard Squirtle's heavily in the lead, so let's go ahead and continue to raise money for an excellent cause here. It's also worth noting as well, there are pretty much 2 main routes that you can do for this category, which are to use Sobble, which is the starter we're going to pick all the way up until we get Cubfu, or the route I'm going to be doing, which is ever so slightly longer, but more safe and more fun, I think, in my opinion, is that at one point we're going to start with Sobble still, then we're going to swap over to Ninetales. We're going to catch a Vulpix and evolve it to Ninetales in the wild. And then we're going to use Ninetales up until we get to Sobble. It's just a more interesting and a bit more marathon safe, as if we wanted to run Sobble specifically all the way to the end, it's a little bit contingent on how good our Sobble is for its stats. And then, if we got a bad Sobble, we'd have to reset, which loses us, minutes of time, which we don't want to do in a marathon setting. So we are going to instead just look for a powerful enough Vulpix to get us through, which is significantly faster. Even if we get a bad Vulpix to start, we just simply catch another one. So it's very, very easy to do.
All right.
Excellent. So we got through our beginning cutscenes for the most part. This game, a lot like newer Pokemon games, and in stark contrast to the awesome run that we just watched by Dijon, we cannot alter our settings until we're already into the game. So, for example, as soon as I gain control of my character, I'm going to turn off things like battle animations, and I'm going to make the text fast. And then there's also a skip movies option that we're going to turn on as well, so we can avoid having to deal with the cinematics and things like that. But we still have to mash through this little bit of text with everyone's favorite rival, Hop. And then we finally gain control.
Yeah, I just want to say that Hop is a good boy. Try to change my mind if you want.
All right, so I focused a little bit on that. Weirdly enough, it's not hard in terms of like you can easily execute it, but doing the settings menu quickly, quote unquote, for me is always difficult. I don't know why, so I just wanted to focus on getting my settings down as fast as I could. But we got our settings done. We run over and grab our bag real quick, and we're going to go out into the world of Galar. but not too far. Not too far yet. We got to stay within our little comfy hometown here for quite a bit before we can get our starter and begin our journey here. So, like I said, we're going to pick Sobble. That is mainly because the moveset of Sobble for the beginning parts of the game serve us better, just get us by a little faster. Water gun is a pretty powerful move, and with decent enough special, we can skate through all the beginning trainers. Both times we fight Hop and all the trainers in between as well. And then we, like I said, we're going to swap over to Ninetales, which is going to be very interesting in terms of the move set that Ninetales is going to have. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
All right.
All right. So we gain control in the outer world here. We're going to run over to Hop's house, another cutscene. Unfortunately, the beginning of this run is rather cutscene heavy. You might be wondering, hey, well, we turned off skip movies. Why are we not skipping these? And skip movies only applies to the cinematic cutscenes, for lack of a better term. So any cutscene where we'd have to mash through text like this is not able to be skipped using that skip movies feature for whatever reason. So even though it is nice to have on, there's not a lot that it skips, especially in this run, because we're not doing a full game run. We're doing a DLC run here. It doesn't end up skipping a whole lot, so we still have a lot to get through in the beginning before we can even get to our starter Pokemon. But we're heading downtown here. We're going to meet Leon for the first time. Leon is the region champion at the moment, and also Hop's brother, if you're unfamiliar with the story. We are not going to fight Leon at all in this run, so we're just going to be admiring from afar, if you will.
He was just chilling around, being cool and getting lost.
Yep, exactly. He's gonna help us get unlocked. He's gonna help us save a Wooloo a little bit, and then he would teach us how to catch Pokemon, but we're actually gonna skip that, which I'll get into in a little bit later. But yeah, we're professionals. I've done this run once or twice, so I don't need to learn I don't know how to catch Pokemon. I think I got this.
Yeah, did most people know how to catch Pokemon at this point?
Yeah, even if you haven't played the game, you probably can figure it out. Weaken it, throw a ball. Even sometimes you don't have to weaken it, which we'll see. We'll see a little bit in this run as well. They're just they'll just go right in sometimes. So it's all about luck. But yeah, you can see in stark contrast between the run we just watched of Dijon's, which again was excellent, by the way. Just shout outs to Dijon for that excellent showcase there. That run is so impressive. So every time I get to see an RBO run is really good. So shout outs to her. But yeah, you can see in stark contrast the style, differences in style between Gen 1 and Gen 8, between all the cutscenes, all the dialogue, and all that. So. It's always I'm a runner of Gen 1 as well, and then I eventually learned this run, so it's a bit of a culture shock, but they're both good in their own right.
Yeah, the evolution of Pokemon is really fascinating, and seeing it in the stark contrast from the beginning to the current moment is really interesting. Very much so, yeah. I definitely agree, yeah. So like I said, we picked Sobble. Interesting point of note, if you're unfamiliar with Sword and Shield as a whole, typically your rival will pick the Pokemon that has a stronger type advantage against you. So because I picked Sobble, you would think our rival Hop would pick the grass type, Grookey. However, this game turns it on its head a little bit. So Hop is actually going to pick Scorbunny. So that is a type advantage that's weak against us. And Leon would end up taking Grookey. So that actually makes our rival fights a bit easier because we can take out the rival Pokemon a little bit faster. So that's nice for what we have to do in this run.
Yep. Speaking of battles, you're actually about to have your very first battle in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right now, we got to mash through a little bit more text, but we're finally getting ready to get into our first battle. About 8.5 minutes into the run is when we'll start it. So yeah, again, with Pokemon Red, you can fight your rival in the first minute or two of the run, but we got to mash through some stuff first. So, all right, here we are. Hop. Now, I mentioned before the route that would use Sobble all the way till we get Kubfu matters on stats, and the only stat that really particularly matters for Sobble is special attack, because we would just explicitly use water-based moves the whole entirety of the run. For this first Wooloo, we don't have a water-based move, so it is reliant on our attack stat because we're going to use Pound. But it's the only Pokemon that it matters for, and more often than not, this Wooloo is going to take 3 shots, 3 pounds. Occasionally, it'll take 4 if your attack is really bad, but it looks like we can get the 3, maybe. I think so. Yeah, we're good. So now, after this Wooloo, we're going to level up, and we are going to learn Water Gun. I think we actually have really good special, but it doesn't matter because we're going to do the Ninetales route.
Nice.
But if I were doing a Sobble route, this would be a runnable Sobble for sure. The one thing that is annoying in terms of a speedrun perspective is that Hop loves to interject with little lines in the middle of combat here. That one is scripted no matter what, because we use Water Gun and it's always faster. We're going to get that one line. If we happen to crit in this fight at all, which hopefully we actually don't because it's not really beneficial, then we would also get a line about critical hits as well.
Yeah, Scott loves to interject and say stuff.
Yep, he sure does. He loves to interject, but luckily we got everything pretty much as scripted there, so pretty normal split. The next part of the run is by far my least favorite, and not because it's difficult, it's actually just because it's a little bit boring. So this whole sequence is more or less a very extended cutscene, but it's a cutscene that involves participation because we do still have to walk and deal with stuff. However, we're about to enter the Slumbering Weld, and there are going to be 3 scripted encounters that pop up. Scripted in the way that they will always pop up and they'll always be the same Pokemon. They will have different stats and sometimes different abilities, but no matter what, we're going to cross 3 patches of grass. We're going to have an encounter in each patch of grass, and we can't avoid it. And then we have an extended encounter with one of the legendaries of the region, which we can't really do anything either. It's just kind of something we have to deal with. So all we have to do here is, with our 3 encounters, is just run from them as fast as we can because they have no benefit to us.
All right.
So that's the first one, Squovit. The second one is going to be Rookidee. We do have the potential to save like a second here if the Rookidee does not have the Unnerve ability, but it almost always has Unnerve. So we probably won't save a second. Let's see. Oh wow, it didn't. Wow, we saved the second. Did not have the Unnerve ability.
Oh, that's some good luck.
Oh man, world record pace. Here we come. Wow. Yeah. So the Unnerve ability makes it so that you can't use berries in the fight, but the game tells you that. It tells you, oh, this Rookidee has the Unnerve ability. You can't eat berries in the fight. So you just save the text box and the pop up of the ability. So there you go. World record pace.
Yep, several abilities in the game have that, where they will activate and tell you the ability, or just activate the ability right away by telling you about it.
Yeah, some Pokemon have the abilities and you just have to figure them out for yourself. A good example is the ability Intimidate. Intimidate will cut your attack, but any Pokemon that has the ability Intimidate that you fight will tell you that your attack has been cut because they have Intimidate. So at least you don't have to just figure it out.
Yeah, and conversely, any Pokemon that has an ability that blocks Intimidate will also tell you when to try to intimidate it.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So we deal with that as well. And then this is the legendary encounter that I mentioned before. It looks like this is a fight. It's not a fight. The only thing I can do is try to use Pound here, and it won't work. And then the Pokemon just summons Fog. I have to do this for 3 turns, and there's nothing I can do to skip it. So if we learn some reverse badge order type underflow of strats or something that we can get by this faster, somebody please let me know.
They will come. I'm sure of it.
It's also worth noting as well. So in those first generation runs, it is very beneficial to name your character one letter, or number as your character's name. In Generation 1, every letter that pops up on the screen when it comes to text takes 1 frame. So, for example, if you nicknamed your character something that has 5 letters in it, every time your name pops up, it takes 5 frames. So if you do it with 1 letter, then you save all the frames of having a long name. This game's text moves much faster and a much faster rate, so That's why I was more than comfortable nicknaming my character Power Up with Pride, because it really, really, really does not matter in this game at all. We just fly through text.
Yeah, Chuck was also discussing how are you meant to pronounce Power Up with Pride in that context. I opted for Poop.
Poop? Yeah, poop.
Poop.
Poop. I didn't want to accidentally say poop, so.
Poop.
Key part of the routing here, because I love to do this. The next thing we have to do is talk to mom. Very rarely I will just forget to talk to mom at all, and I'll just try to move on, and then I'll walk all the way there, and they say, "Hey, did you talk to your mom?" And I'll be like, "Ugh." But I remembered it this time, so we're good. All right, excellent. So we remembered to talk to mom. Now we finally are getting closer to like the actual world of this, getting out of our hometown a little bit. So the next area, we're gonna finally enter like a grass area with wild Pokemon. What we're going to hope for is that a Wooloo pops up. We're really gonna want to catch a Wooloo. We're gonna catch anything. We're gonna catch something in this grass. Hopefully it's a Wooloo, and hopefully even further, it's a Wooloo that's level 5 or 6. If it's level 5 or 6, we're gonna catch it. And in this game, you get experience for catching Pokemon as well as just defeating them. If it's a level 5 or 6 Wooloo that I just found here, we're gonna hit level 8 early, which is really good. And we got level 5, so there you go.
Nice. Yeah, if I believe that change was introduced in Let's Go.
Yes, that's correct. And it kind of aligns with the if you play Pokemon Go, it's very similar. You get experience for catching Pokemon on the mobile game as well. But what makes this good is that now that we're level 8 early, our stats are obviously buffed up because of this. So a couple of the next trainer fights that we're going to do are just going to have a chance at least to go just a tad bit faster. So it's all still based on our stats. So if we had poor stats to begin with, it doesn't really help. But I think our stats are pretty decent from what I glimpsed at. Again, with taking the Ninetales route, my stats of my Sobble don't matter at all. Even if I had like the worst Sobble possible, it doesn't really impact things too much. So the other reason why we catch a Pokemon there, by the way, in addition to just getting some extra experience, which is obviously very good, is that now that we've caught a Pokemon, when we end up talking to Leon later on Route 2, we're actually going to skip the Pokemon catching tutorial. We won't have to deal with it. So that's another reason why this is beneficial for us. Shout outs to Yamper, absolutely adorable Pokemon.
A good boy.
Absolutely. Like many, I fell in love with Yamper when it was introduced. Got a Boltund on my casual team as well. Who doesn't love a good doggy Pokemon?
Their casual team.
Exactly. Who doesn't love a good dog Pokemon? Arcanine is my favorite Pokemon as in general as well, which is another good dog Pokemon. So yeah, shout outs to the dog Pokemon. Very, very good.
What's the favorite dog Pokemon? They are all good.
Yeah, exactly. Oops, mashed on the wrong button there. So yeah, we have to come here, get the Pokédex, all that. This is all just so we could get started with our journey. As soon as we exit the lab here, somebody is going to come up and talk to us, who is going to give us potions, obviously very handy. And then we're actually going to head a little bit to the right of the screen here and get a rare candy that's hidden behind these trees. And that's actually not going to be used on Sobble or Ninetales. We're going to end up probably using it on our Cubfu. There's a chance we might not even need to use it, but we always grab it because it's pretty handy. So we got that. Hop's going to tell us about Pokemon centers. Very important that I say that I've been to a Pokemon center before. Otherwise, I'm just going to waste, I think it's like 10 or 15 seconds or so of him explaining how a Pokemon center works, which I just don't need in my life.
Yeah, I think we know how Pokemon centers work.
Yeah, I've been to one or two before. I know how it goes. This is one of the only instances that we'll actually have to use a PC in the Pokemon Center as well. Oops. In the Pokemon Center as well, because we don't yet have the mobile version where we can deposit Pokemon from our menu. But we do deposit Wooloo there because we want Sobble to get all of the experience going forward. And then we're going to talk to our berry sales friend here and get 3 Pekka berries. Pekka berries give us the ability to heal poison, which will be very important here. And I can actually go into this a little bit as well. So I'm running the sword version of this game. The shield version of this category is very similar in structure, but it has one key difference, which is that if you're unfamiliar with the DLC, there's actually completely different antagonists on the Isle of Armor depending on which version of the game that you play. So on sword, we fight Clara, and Clara is a poison type specialist. If you ran this game on shield, then you'd be fighting Avery, and then Avery is a psychic type specialist. So we don't have to deal with the effects of poison if we were running on shield. However, since we're running on sword, poisoning can be kind of a big deal that can happen. So we get some contingencies just in case we do get poisoned. And in fact, there's one part that we will guarantee get poisoned no matter what, but that is not for a while. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. On Route 2 here, so we got through some dialogue just with Hop and Leon there. That is where Leon would have given us our catch tutorial had we not already caught something, so we skipped that. And there are 2 unavoidable trainers on this route, and there's actually a 3rd trainer, but we can dodge that one. But it's a water gun to win type situation, so. Let's see, can we 2-shot? Yeah, looks like we are going to be able to 2-shot the Squovit, which is excellent. If we were level 7 / if our special was bad, we'd probably have to 3 or 4-shot it. But this is one of the optimizations that you can get by being level 8, is that getting that 2-shot saves us a turn. So we saved a turn there, which is great.
Awesome.
Yep. And then so there's going to be a trainer up ahead standing in front of a rock. Conveniently, however, we can just swoop around behind the rock and not talk to that trainer. So there we go. And then we have this trainer who is unavoidable. This trainer is a little bit annoying, only in the way that, so it has a Blip Bug and a Nicket. So the Blip Bug is annoying because it always uses Struggle Bug, and Struggle Bug is a move that when it lands, your special attack is lowered. So it makes it so that our water guns do less damage. Unfortunate, but pretty much unavoidable. The only way that we could really avoid it is with good special and a crit. So we would 1-shot it, but that's so rare to happen that I just bank on not having it pretty much. And then the Nicket, Nicket's pretty self-explanatory here. Loves to quick attack, which is fine. The only time you don't want to see a quick attack is the last turn that you would have, because then you just waste half a turn on letting Nicket go first, because ordinarily we are faster, so. Let's see, no quick attack. Of course we got quick attack. Yeah, so we waste half a turn here, but it's fine. Unavoidable, just RNG.
Yeah, it's one of the many things that can happen in this run.
Yep. All right, so now we're at the Pokemon Lab. Another kind of longer cutscene where we meet the professor of the region. Talk a while, and then we are going to fight Hop for the second and last time in this run. This will be the last time we have to fight Hop, so we got other problems to deal with once we get over to the Isle of Armor.
Yeah, I know the 80% run fights Hop like 8 times, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right. Yeah, I actually haven't done a full 80% run of this. I want to at some point. It's just so long. Even the world record is just over 4 hours, so it's a long run. I should do it at some point. But yeah, that's worth mentioning as well. That this is a great run to do if you like this generation of Pokemon, but 4 hours is just too long for you to do. It's exactly why I picked up this category, because I really like this game. But I wanted a category that is, still like competitive and fun, but it's shorter, so this is great for that. The world record in this category is 1 hour and 27 minutes, so it's pretty compared to a full 4 hour plus run, it's pretty bite size. So I like that a little bit better for me. But someday I'm gonna learn the full run. All right, so second Hop fight here. Hop has Wooloo and Score Bunny, and then also a Rookidee. It's water gun to win, so we don't have to really worry. We're not in any danger of losing this fight, especially because we got a free heal since our last trainer. Oops, I hit Growl instead. So that's worth mentioning as well. So when you scroll in this game, it can very easily eat your inputs, or if you use the stick, it could do a bounce back function where it will scroll down but then back up. It's a little bit finicky in terms of like scrolling to moves. So I wasted a turn there. It's fine. It's not dangerous. It just loses us a little time. But the score bunny here is where we can potentially lose time. So we're gonna water gun. Typically takes 2 hits. If we get a crit, it'll do it in 1. But we didn't get a crit, so that's fine. Now we do not want Score Bunny to use Ember, so please don't. Good. All right. If Hop had chosen Score Bunny to use Ember, he would also get another dialogue cut in here where he talks about like something. It's along the lines of like, "Oh, the fires of competition burn bright" or something like that. I don't remember the exact line, but he just cuts in there. And then obviously if we get a crit, then there's another dialogue sequence there. But at least we would have one-shotted it over 2 turns, so it doesn't waste a lot of time. And then Rookie D, an example of the unnerve function there.
Yep.
Hey, we got the crit, so we're gonna get the line. This isn't terrible. I mean, we get the dialogue line, but this Rookie D does usually take 2 shots, so you know it's a little bit of a trade-off.
Kelly's asking if there's a similar category to this run for the more recent DLC, Crown of Tundra.
Yeah, so we have a few different things there. So so you can straight up just run. There's a category called Dynamax Adventures. So it's just basically how fast you can get through a Dynamax adventure. Which that category is like minutes. It's like 5-6 minutes or something like that as a world record. Then there is a category called Get to Calyrex that you can do. So the category starts, you know, with the start of the game and ends when you get to the final form of Calyrex on the horse. And then in addition to that, because the Crown Tundra DLC kind of turned strats on its head, right? Because if you go to Crown Tundra early, you can get Suicune, a level 65 Suicune in the beginning of the game. So like as long you do all the startup, you go to Crown Tundra, you get to Suicune, you get a level 65 Suicune, which you can then just charge through the rest of the game if you want to. So we now have a category called Any Percent with DLC because that really turned it on its head. And there's the Any Percent, you know, traditional where you start with a starter, you don't go to any of the DLC lands and still finish the game. So there's a lot of Crown Tundra caused a lot of changes in this run. Not this run specifically, but in this game, I should say.
That's sort of right from what I've heard of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've been thinking about learning that Get to Calyrex. I'll have to take a look at it at some point. But yes, we got through Hop. No more Hop encounters. We still have to deal with them in terms of dialogue a little bit because we are gonna go over to the wild area and stuff. And he's gonna follow us. We get our Dynamax band. Worth mentioning, we will do a Dynamax once in this run. Once and only once. Obviously, Dynamaxing, while powerful, is very slow. We have all the animations that come with Dynamaxing and all that, but it is still worth it to do in the run. So we just got to make our way all the way back. All the way back to Wedgehurst, and then we're going to go to the wild area for the first time. And this is when we get to do some fun speed tech. So yep, all this let's just dodge all the Pokemon. It's also worth mentioning, and let's go in terms of like console and mobile playing as well. The wild encounters have changed. Obviously, overworld encounters are now a thing, so we don't really have to worry about getting things like repels and stuff because we can mostly see when we are going to hit an encounter, which is great. However, there are still times when it's still unavoidable, or something will pop directly in front of you. Or what happens to me often is the Pokemon Bouffalant will chase me down, and Bouffalant is a lot faster than us, so we will inevitably run into an encounter if we get too close to a Bouffalant. So there are still little challenges like that, but it does make it fun that we can anticipate encounters in this game as compared to older generations.
Mm-hmm. Introduce another changes, and it makes a couple categories a lot more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It also reduces RNG. Which is great.
Yeah, reduces RNG and you know, if you're familiar with Pokemon, we just saw it as well. RNG is absolutely brutal in these games. So it's just so coin flippy, or not even coin flippy, just generally unfavorable and stuff like that. So whatever we can do to RNG is great. So when we get to the wild area, we're gonna do quite a few things. So I'll start to outline that now while we're getting through these little cutscenes here. So the first thing we're going to do is, you might have noticed at the start of my run, and I didn't really acknowledge it at all during the introductions, I started my run with my Switch timer being set to a very specific day and time. So I set it to the 15th of April, and that is because we're going to get a specific weather pattern and specific Pokemon spawns that will be a result of having our date and time set to that. The main one is that we're going to have an abundance of Vulpix, which, as I mentioned, we're going to be catching one and using Ninetales for a good chunk of the run. But we'll also get some good key wild encounter spawns. The first of which will be an Onix, which we're going to intentionally die to. And the second one will be some Skorupi and Rhyhorns later on, and a Ninjask that we will either Death Warp off of or defeat for experience. So that is mainly why we set the date and time to when we do. In addition to that, when we set the date and time, this wild area will be in a drought. So that also boosts the power of fire type moves, which will be very good for our Ninetales. But we will not be in this wild area that long, luckily enough. We now also have our Pokemon box link, so that means we can deposit and withdraw Pokemon at will. We don't have to go to a Pokemon Center. Great feature. Love that.
Very welcome.
Yes, very, very welcome indeed. All right, so here we go. Onix is going to pop up kind of straight ahead of us here. Good thing to note as well. So if we were doing the Sobble route, where we don't get a Ninetales at all, we actually want to beat this Onix, but this Onix is relatively dangerous because it has moves that can kill us rather quickly. So how it usually turns out is that when you want it to kill you quickly, when you want the Onix to kill you quickly, it won't. It'll keep using moves like Curse and stuff like that. But when you don't want it to kill you, inevitably it will kill you. It's kind of, that's Pokemon RNG for you. But getting a second turn death there is pretty good. What that does is it will warp us back to this person who's standing near the train station, and then we'll say, do you want to go to Motostoke? And then we will. So now we're going to be all the way in the front of Motostoke here, which is very handy. And then we're going to head this way. And we're going to cross that bridge in the distance because we're going to go pick up a Firestone, which is obviously what we're going to use to evolve our Vulpix into Ninetales right away, as soon as we have a good enough Vulpix, basically. So what that Death Warp does, obviously, is it saves us walking time. The key thing about this category is because we go over to the Isle of Armor basically as fast as we can comfortably, we do not get things like Fly or our bike or anything like that. Everything we do is going to be on foot. So we don't have the ability to like fly or get to places relatively quickly. So what we do instead is we utilize Death Warps like this. Because that will enable us to travel to places faster than it is to just straight up walk there. So we got our Firestone. Now we're going to head into this grass here. Rhyhorn or Skorupi are here. Both are pretty good options to kill us fast. Skorupi is a little bit better in my experience because sometimes Rhyhorns like to use Scary Face, but luckily we got Horn Attack, so that's pretty good. So relatively speaking, our Death Warps are pretty quick, so I'm pretty happy with that. And now that we Death Warped again, we're all the way back at the beginning of the wild area. This time, we're not going to go to Motostoke. So we're going to skip doing that. And then, as we head down this way, you're going to see this big grass patch in front of us is going to be littered with Vulpix. Doesn't really matter, you know, you can't tell from the outside if it's going to be a good Vulpix or not, so you just got to take whichever one comes up first. If it is a level 7, we can't take it. It's not strong enough. So hopefully we don't have a level 7 here. Level 10 is actually very good. That's the highest level we can get, so that's great. We are going to weaken the Vulpix once, which is fine, and then we are going to catch it with a Pokeball.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's how it works. Again, I told you, I know how to catch Pokemon.
Yeah, see? Neil didn't have to teach us anything. We already knew.
Exactly. So it does matter, however. This Vulpix stats do matter. We need good special attack. We need good speed. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go into our box here. Take a look at our stats on the Vulpix. Let's see. This is kind of a bad one. I'm actually gonna catch another one, I think.
No.
Yeah, but that's fine. And this is what I mean by it being faster than having to reset. That's fine. You know, we waste a little time catching a Vulpix. No worries. We'll just catch another one. That's simple as that. Another level 10 too. Great, excellent. The two stats that we're looking at, by the way, are as I mentioned, special attack and speed. We want relatively good of both of those. We can handle having kind of bad speed, but special attack is really important. And both of them were just bad, kind of, unfortunately. So we're gonna try it again. All right, so let's take a look here. Hopefully this one's a bit better. Okay. All right. Even so, speed was better, but even worse special attack. So even worse.
Oh man.
Yeah. No. So that's not the one. That's not the one. We're patient though. Yeah, that was the lowest special attack that Vulpix could have at that level, actually. Hey, another level 10 though. Pretty good luck.
That's the charm.
Yeah.
This is the one.
This is the one. Come on, Vulpix. All right. Luckily, we don't have to, worry about them breaking out so often or anything like that. They're pretty reliable in that regard. All right. So let's take a look at this Vulpix now. Okay. Really good speed, middling special attack. We're gonna take this one though. We're gonna take this one. So
Take those.
yeah, we're gonna work with this one. All right, so swap Pokemon here. We're going to go into our bag. Ooh, not rare candy. So we're like right on this Vulpix has really good speed, but it's right on the cusp for special attack. It's like it could be fine or it might not be that great. So it's hard to say, but we can make it work. If we have to save a couple extra times, then we will. Not a big deal. All right, so we evolve it. We got our Ninetales now. We're gonna walk a little bit forward. This note always pops up. It's unavoidable. And then we're going to see a Ninjask pop up over here. There it is. And we're going to defeat this Ninjask for experience. All right. All right, so Scratch is not great there, but it looks like based on this, our special is pretty good, actually. So based on that damage roll, at least. Great. So there we go. We're going to get some good experience there.
Yep. That's another advantage of currently in a drought. All
Yeah.
fire attacks are boosted by 1.5 times, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't carry into the Isle of Armor. I wish it did, because that would be very useful. But in this wild area, it's good for that Ninjask. And based on that roll, even with the drought in place, we could still have a much worse Ninetales based on what I've seen. So I think we're going to be fine. Famous last words, but I think we're going to be fine.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. So we're going to head back to Wedgehurst. Then we're going to see Clara for the first time, who's going to be our main antagonist for the Isle of Armor. But we're actually going to skip right by that for just a moment. And the reason being is we're actually going to head back into the Pokemon Center up ahead here. This gen introduces something that's very, very handy in terms of speedrunning, which is that no matter what level your Pokemon is at, you can go into a Pokemon Center and talk to somebody in there who can have your Pokemon learn whatever move that they can at whatever level they normally would learn it at. So we don't have to wait, for example, until level 30 for Ninetales to learn like Fire Blast or something like that. We can go to this move learner and have it learn any moves from its moveset at any time. So we're basically just going to set up our Ninetales with the moves that we're going to use for the length of the run. And I'm just going to focus on menuing this fast here for a second so we don't waste any time.
In the meantime, I'll remind you that you're watching Winter Pride 2020. That benefits the Trevor Project. You can donate by using !donate in chat and check out the schedule using !schedule. You're currently watching a Pokemon Sword and Shield Tower of Two Fists Get Urshifu run by Conception here. The Trevor Project is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. You can check them out at www.thetrevorproject.org to access their services, found on more their impact, or donate. And we are set with the moves, and we are heading back to the Isle of Armor now.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Are we gonna head into the Isle of Armor now?
Yeah, very close. So we're starting it. We've started the process basically. So the first part of the process is that there's a slowpoke on the tracks and we have to deal with it. And we can't just defeat it, unfortunately, which would be very fast. We have to catch it. So how we handle it in this route is there is something introduced in this game, or it might be in recent past editions as well, but it's especially prevalent in this game, that if you are a lower level than the Pokemon that you're attempting to catch, your chances that you're going to catch that Pokemon are reduced significantly. So what we do is we weaken it with Ninetales using Fire Blast once, and then we swap to Sobble. Now Sobble is currently level 13. It's usually level 12, but because I had to catch so many Vulpixes, it leveled up one extra time. Now, because Sobble is the same level or above on Slowpoke, the catch rate goes up significantly. So we're pretty much guaranteed to make this work. If I had tried to just straight up catch it with Ninetales, I could have it happen, but it would, there's a higher likelihood that it would break out. So that's why we do that swap there. The Sobble route, because we don't have any other Pokemon at this point, what it does instead is that we actually grab some Watts from one of the wells in the wild area, and we get a Quick Ball from the Watt Trader. And then we just throw a Quick Ball in the first turn, and it goes in pretty consistently.
All right.
But now we dealt with the Slowpoke. We have it. We're going to head on over to the Isle of Armor. Also, just want to shout out this train station worker. I always point this out in my runs, but I've never been so dedicated to a job that I have sideburns that indicate the job that I do, because this person's sideburns are train tracks. So shout out to that level of dedication.
I don't even know this stuff. They played this game.
I always love pointing that out. It's so funny to me. I don't know why. All right, so here we are, the Isle of Armor. No longer on the mainland, we're on the DLC island. Also, coincidentally, the only time we'll fly in this run, and it's not really flying, it's more of like a transport. So, the professor's aide here is going to tell us about the Pokédex, yada, yada, yada. We're going to make a quick menu after that to do a couple things. One, we are going to equip a Cherry Berry to Ninetales. That's actually for later. And then two, we're going to deposit both Sobble and Slowpoke, so that it's just Ninetales in our party. The Cherry Berry is once you are paralyzed, the Cherry Berry will heal paralysis. So that's very important for later on. Because one of the trainers we fight has a Pokemon who uses a move almost consistently that has a chance to paralyze us. So it's just for safety. And that Cherry Berry we just get by default. It's always in our inventory from the start of the game. So we have it, we might as well use it. Doesn't take too long to equip it. This is Clara, who's going to be our main antagonist. But before we jump out there to fight her for the first time, we're going to get some handy dandy items here. Some potions and some awakenings. Great. Potions are obvious. Awakenings is because we're going to deal with some Pokemon who have a high chance to put us to sleep. So that is also a just in case measure. Hopefully we won't have to use them, but we probably will. So Clara comes up here. Clara is not too hard of a trainer to fight, honestly. In the first two, we encountered Clara 3 times in this run. The first 2 times are not too bad. And we gotta get to outline here what moves that I taught my Ninetales out of the Ninetales move pool. So the first move that we're gonna use is Nasty Plot, which is a very good move for us because it is a move that raises our special attack significantly. So that's a great move for us. Second move that we have is Flamethrower, which is pretty obvious, a nice fiery damagey move. And then we're not going to use it in this fight, but we also have Safeguard, which is a move that will prevent us from getting status effect changes for 5 turns. So that's going to be useful for both poison as well as confusion. And then the last one is Fire Blast, another just powerfully, blasty fire move. All right, so this will be the real test as to whether or not our Ninetales is powerful enough, and it is. Good. There is a small chance that we have to double Flamethrower that Slowpoke if our special attack is kind of bad, but we are safe.
Nice.
All right, so that's Claire 1. Pretty simple. And now we're getting ready to head into the dojo. So the Isle of Armor, it's an island that has, plenty of wild Pokemon and stuff like that, as like any Pokemon game should. But the central theme of this is that there is a dojo here, and we're going to end up joining the dojo, completing the dojo's challenges, so that we've earned what is referred to as the island's armor as a prize. And then we're going to complete one last quest to finish up the main storyline there. This DLC is pretty good. It's got some funny writing in terms of the dojo stuff, so I always like pointing that out. So I'll point out some nice funny lines when they come about. But one other thing that happens on the island is that there are 150 Alolan Diglett just hidden throughout the island. We are not going to pay attention to that at all, but we do have to engage in this in order to get by the bridge. So we have to do it. Yep. Unfortunately, but we're not going to be finding any hidden Diglett, unfortunately. So hopefully it didn't turn in for that.
I also like to answer a question by chat.
Yeah.
This DLC scales in one specific way. It will have a level set which I think is around 12 if you have not beaten the main game, that is if you have not beaten the champion. But if you have, the DLC will be greatly scaled in around level 65 or so, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 60 to 65, it seems about right to me, if I remember, because when I played it originally, obviously it was after I beat the game. But so that's what makes this DLC unique, is that like Akuya mentioned, there's a scalability here. So since we're going early, a lot of the Pokemon, wild Pokemon and trainers Pokemon, will be significantly lower level than if you had beaten the game originally. So yeah, that is a great point. Yeah. So we're getting ready to head into the dojo, and we're going to fight the dojo master for the first time. And the dojo master's name is Mustard. Mustard's an interesting character. We're going to fight Mustard 2 times in the run, this being the first one. The first Mustard fight is a bit interesting. It usually goes according to plan, but it can go a little strange if things don't quite work out in your favor. So I am going to save in front of it just in case, just for absolute safety. But the first Pokemon that Mustard will throw out is a Mienfoo. And what almost always happens is that the first turn, Mienfoo will use Fake Out, which will make us flinch. And the second turn, it will use Focus Palm, which is the move that potentially has a paralyzing effect. So that is how it is meant to be. How it goes, I would say like 90% of the time. The other 10% of the time, there's another turn that Mienfoo could use called U-turn, so that it will attack us and then switch to another Pokemon, which can make things interesting a little bit. Or it could just not use Fake Out and might just go straight into Force Palm. That can also happen, so we will see. We'll go ahead and save just in case. Even if we had lost this fight, there isn't really we don't have to use any like items or anything. So the worst thing that would happen if I hadn't saved is that I would die, I would respawn in the dojo, and then I would just try again. But it's a little bit faster to just have it, save and then reset. It's just a tiniest bit faster. All right, so let's see what Mienfoo gives us here. Yeah, this is Mustard, by the way. For some reason, his eyebrows hang past his chin, but you gotta admire the style. Fake Out. Yep, this is all normal. All normal so far.
Yes, some large eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Yep, fake out to Force Palm is pretty much what happens all the time. And then we Fire Blast and hope it hits. Fire Blast is not a 100% accurate move, which is another thing that can throw us off, which is exactly what happened. It's exactly why we saved there. Fire Blast is, I believe, is a 75% accurate move. Might be 70. I can't remember exactly. So it always has a chance to miss. But it's generally favorable that it'll hit. But when it misses, it's great, just like that. So now we get to have another go at this, of course. It's been a great day for Pokemon RNG, hasn't it?
Yeah, just for reference, Fire Blast has an 85% accuracy.
85%, so it's even more than I thought.
Yeah, it gets like in that list of moves like Hydro Pump, Blizzard.
Yeah. All right, so this is all scripted. Now this just needs to hit. Flamethrower doesn't do enough damage, so there we go. See, that's how it's supposed to happen. And then the second Pokemon Mustard has here is a Shinx, which we will just Flamethrower. That is quite enough. And Flamethrower is 100% accurate, so. There we go. Voila. First try every time. Great. So we got through our mustard fight here, and now we're going to get into the first of 3 challenges for the dojo area. The first challenge is going to involve Clara, who is the antagonist of the area, wanting to get a cool dojo outfit like the one that we're getting right now. However, it's going to be stolen in a comedic way, which you'll see here shortly, and we have to recover the pieces from those who stole the uniform. That's going to be challenge 1. Challenge 2 is going to involve picking mushrooms out of a cave, and challenge 3 is just a Pokemon battle, just to give you a little tease of what's coming up here. Yeah, and this is Mustard telling us about the prize being the secret armor of the dojo, which is cryptic sounding, but purposely cryptic. Oh man, who stole those outfits? Let's see here. Oh, it's Slowpoke. That looked awful fast for a Slowpoke. I don't really know what they did to be so speedy, but these are fast pokes. Look at them go.
Yeah, they just go yum around the map.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are not slow pokes, they're fast pokes. So challenge 1 is going to be finding and defeating the 3 slow pokes to get each of the 3 pieces of Claire's uniform back. And it's not only us who are up to the challenges, everybody in the dojo technically, though we don't really see anybody else out there. So all right, so we're gonna keep the dojo clothes on because it's faster. I'm actually going to go ahead and also heal because our health is low enough that we'll probably have to heal once anyways. So we're going to make our way outside now. Worth noting as well, so obviously there's the physical edition of this game which you could buy with the cartridge. I'm running on the digital version. The load times on the digital version are significantly faster than on the physical version. So if anyone has ever, sees this run is interested in running it, ideally you have the digital version. Of course, you can still run it on the physical version, but you are at a slight disadvantage, unfortunately, due to load times. But there go the Slowpokes, and we're going to take care of them in a neat and orderly fashion, hopefully. Now, one thing that can troll us here is obviously we have wild Pokemon that can just pop up and be in our way. The second thing here is that I occasionally will just miss the Slowpoke cycle. Hey, look, there's a wild Pokemon troll. There he goes. I can also just miss the Slowpoke cycle. Like, they'll just run by me, and I'll have to wait for them to come back around. And then it's the Slowpoke fights themselves. Can go, fast or slow, depending on how it goes. Oh, Bouffalant, you stay away from me. Stay away from me, Bouffalant. All right, there we go. So we hit the Slowpoke. Yeah, Bouffalant is scary, like I mentioned. All right, so for all three Slowpoke, we're gonna have the same strategy. Nasty Plot once, so our special attack is raised, and then Flamethrower until they're dead. Yawn is an annoying move, but it's mainly only annoying on the first turn because Yawn is a move that will put you to sleep 2 turns from when it's used. And these fights take 3 turns. So on the last turn, it would put us to sleep. However, because the Slowpoke used Yawn on turn 2, it didn't really affect us, which is good. All right, good. I was really worried that Bouffalant saw us. But all right, so that's one Slowpoke down. Easy peasy.
It's important to mention, some people that are asking about it, that the Slowpokes have set patterns that they run around.
Mm-hmm.
So you can effectively stand in a specific location and intercept them. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to explicitly outrun them, which is good because we don't have a bike right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to outrun. On foot, we actually can't. They're faster than us. So if we try to just chase them in a circle, we will never catch them. So it's all just about intercepting them in their own patterns. Which, you know, if you get really favorable RNG as a meeting, you don't hit all these random encounters along the way, then it's actually not too bad. You naturally will just get them in pretty good cycles. Like this second cycle was pretty good. Like I just have to walk forward and it just kind of walked into me. So nothing to worry about there. The third cycle has the potential to be like excellent, but you'll just always miss a really good cycle, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you kind of have to walk around a little bit. You'll see what I mean here in 1 second. So we're gonna go over here. Yeah, you can see we just miss it. Like nothing you can do about it. So we just kind of walk around a circle. No Bouffalant. There we go. That's about as fast as you can get to this last Slowpoke here. So. In terms of moves, the Slowpokes have been very nice to us so far. There's the Yawn turn 1 though. So come on, give us a crit so we don't have to worry about it. Give us a crit. Come on now. Not on us. Give us a crit on the Slowpoke. Nope. Never lucky. So now we're asleep. All right. That's fine though. This is exactly why we buy the Awakenings, for this very reason. Voila. So it just wastes a couple extra turns, unfortunately. But still, overall, a pretty decent Slowpoke section, despite hitting an encounter and also getting a bad third Slowpoke. But we got pretty good of the first 2, so you take what you can get. All right. I'm actually going to try something here. I'm going to try to do a Death Warp here. I typically don't, but our health is nice and low. So I'm going to try and see if we can get a fortunate encounter here where this Drapion just takes us out really quick. So that's a slow way of doing it because it'll use Toxic Spikes, but it could work. There we go. That's fine. The other alternative is that, of course, we just walk all the way back. But I wanted to see if this would speed things up a tiny bit, and I think it does, because it's just going to warp us right back to the dojo here. Not to mention we are now fully healed. Now is a great time to close the bid war. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't give you a better warning, but it is coming up.
Right.
Yep, for Squirtle and Bulbasaur.
Right. I'm gonna give you the final result then.
Okay.
It looks like we're gonna grab a turtle. So it's a Squirtle.
All right, Squirtle it is. Excellent, excellent. Good work, everybody. Squirtle it is. I like both. You know, in this bid war, in my opinion, you can't go wrong. So we're gonna go with Squirtle here. This is just a reward for completing challenge 1. It does have the tiniest effect on the run, but based on what we choose, but not really, because these Pokemon are so low level, so it doesn't really matter which one we pick, which is exactly what makes it such a great bid war. But for now, we're gonna pick Squirtle. As soon as we regain control, we are gonna just immediately deposit it, but we do have a chance to have our Squirtle pop out a little bit later. So don't fret if you were wanting to see a little bit more Squirtle action. But yeah, thank you to everyone who donated towards the incentive as well. continue to get those donations in, by the way. One thing I always love to do with Pokemon runs is if you want to shout out your favorite Pokemon or anything like that in the donations, feel free to. Then Ikuyo can read those off, and we can talk about our favorite Pokemon. It's always a nice, wholesome time. So feel free to get some donations in.
Yes, please do. I'll let you know ahead of time as a freebie that Frostas is probably my favorite Pokemon.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it before. Arcanine is my favorite, so.
If you want to bring your favorite Pokemon, just throw us a donation and we'll read it.
Absolutely. All right, so Squirtle's going to go in the box. And then the last thing we're going to do as well is we're going to equip a P.E.K.K.A. berry here. Oh, I passed the berries. There we go. As mentioned before, P.E.K.K.A. berries will heal poison. But yeah, so we're done with Challenge 1. We're going to head on over to Challenge 2 now. Luckily, Mustard is going to kind of warp us there via cutscene about halfway through the path, which is good. We don't have to walk all the way through this bigger area, the swamps. So that's always nice. Challenge 2 is really, really simple, and Challenge 2 is gonna end with us fighting Clara the second time. And fighting Clara the second time is pretty much a cakewalk. In fact, oftentimes I will take an extra turn there because I want to get into a lower health margin. So that just goes to show you how easy Clara 2 is. But what we're gonna do first is traverse through the forest section to get all the way to the cave, which is where the mushrooms are growing. We're collecting mushrooms in order to make a max soup so that everyone in the dojo can enjoy. But other than that, yeah, there's not really anything to mention. So if you have any, plugs to mention, the Kuyo or anything like that, feel free to send them our way.
Yes, I will. So we are watching Winter Pride 2020. We are benefiting the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend their time. They're 24/7 for Lifeline, chat, text, and soon to come integrations with social media platforms. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social networking site for LGBTQ youth, and operate innovative education, research, and advocacy programs. This marathon is completely benefit to them. You can donate through our link that you can check in !donate. We still have a couple bid wars going around. We just closed the bid war for Los Quartos. However, we still have a couple more incentives to go. We have an incentive for the Beatmania run to play some really, really hard songs of the game. We have an incentive to collect the Benny BDBG trinket in the VVVVV run. We also have a bid war to choose the character for the Super Monkey Ball Deluxe run. Currently, Baby is in the lead with $10. However, all other characters are just behind with $5. So if you have a favorite character to go for, you can just donate and pick them. And we also have an extra bonus run of Monkey Ball 2 with the subtitle, a story mode all levels, a hack of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe in Super Monkey Ball 2, and we'll have dev commentary by the author of the hack if we meet the incentive.
Yes, definitely get incentives for that. Helix is a fantastic runner. You definitely want to see get your incentives for naming your Pokemon there. Not your Pokemon, your monkeys there. But also you want to see that extra run. I've seen it many times myself personally. It's fantastic, and they are just so great. So yeah, get those donations in for sure.
Absolutely not gonna miss it.
Oh yeah, that's too bad. So here we are at Clara 2, by the way. I did end up taking one extra turn than I needed to, because we actually want to be in low health here. And that is because we're going to do a death warp immediately after this fight is over. So I safeguarded so that I wouldn't get confused by the Slowpoke, and then I just used Nasty Plot to stall for a bit, but also to raise our special attack. And then this fight is just simple after that. We just one-shot the Coughing, and then we're going to one-shot her Whirlipede as well. Then immediately after this fight, we're gonna look for a Sandshrew is what we're ideally looking for here. And the Sandshrew will hopefully be able to take us out rather quickly. It could waste some time, but hopefully it doesn't. And then afterwards, we only have one more fight with Clara that we have to worry about. All right, so yeah, the Clara 2 is a cakewalk. The last fight with Clara has potential to be terrible. Hopefully it isn't, but it has the potential to be. Which we definitely will save in front of that one. So we got our max mushrooms to complete challenge 2. Hopefully we get a good spawn of a Sandshrew. Nice. And hopefully the Sandshrew takes us out fast. Rollout's a good move. Bulldoze can be good if it crits. Rapid Spin is not a good one because it's going to take a couple turns, but that's fine. There we go. 2 turns. I guess we'll make do with 2 turns. 1 turn would have been faster, but you know, we can't have all the luck, right?
Yeah, we take those.
We take those exactly. So now we're warped back. Another lengthy cutscene here. By the way, I never mentioned this. So remember how in the first challenge the whole point was Clara's dojo uniform was stolen and we were to retrieve the pieces, right? Clara doesn't wear the uniform at all. Makes a big stink about not having the uniform and then never wears it. So I don't really know what the deal is with that.
She just wants to have the uniform, but she has some style. She has some style to go for.
Yeah, no, her style is definitely great. Like, I'm all about it. I actually like the style better than the dojo uniform. Why make a big stink about it if you're not even gonna wear it, you know?
Let's send it a message, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That included, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we got the max mushrooms, but Clara also got some max mushrooms, and we're actually going to use her mushrooms in this soup here. So that means we get to hold on to ours, and that sounds like it's probably nothing and not important at all, but it actually is, because max mushrooms are a very, very powerful item. Max mushrooms, when used in battle, is an item that will raise every one of your stats all at once. So very, very powerful, very useful, and we're actually going to use it twice in the run. So you'll see just how useful it can be. First, we have this little mini cutscene with this guy, with the boys, Cramorant vacuum cleaner machine of some sort. It has something to do with Watts. I never even did it when I played it casually, so I don't know exactly, but something to do with Watts. All right, so now the last challenge is just a fight between Clara and I. This fight is not dangerous up front, but it is very dangerous in the last fight. So Clara's gonna have 4 Pokemon: Skorupi, Weezing, Whirlipede, and Slowbro. Skorupi itself is not dangerous. It can throw us off if Skorupi crits us a bunch of times, but we can adapt if that's the case. The really dangerous one is actually the Slowbro. And the only reason why Slowbro is dangerous at all is because Slowbro is going to have an ability called Quick Draw. I mean, what Quick Draw does is that, I don't know the exact percentage, but there is a percentage that, despite us being faster, that Slowbro will get to go first on the turn if it's activated. Now, it's an RNG as to whether or not it's going to activate or not, so hopefully it doesn't. But if it does, we have a high likelihood that we're going to die. Hopefully we don't have to deal with that at all. So, but that's the exact reason why we're going to save in front of this before this fight, just in case. If we get no Quick Draw, it's completely safe. We're fine. But if we get Quick Draw, it's likely that we'll die. We might be able to save it, but it's likely that we'll die.
Yeah, also, probably there is not that low. It's about 30%.
30% is the percentage? Okay.
Yeah, 30%.
Then I would like to shout out one of the last times that I ran this in a marathon, which was for Midfall Speedball a few weeks ago, where I had to reset this fight like 5 times because I kept getting Quick Draw to the point that I didn't end up finishing it with an estimate, which I'd never seen before. It happened so poorly. So let's hope that this doesn't happen this time, right?
Another that's never happened before.
Yeah, exactly. So Clara tries to cheat the situation a little bit by putting toxic spikes out on the field before our fight starts. However, we have the Pekka Berry equipped, so we don't really have to worry about it. But on Skorupi here, we're going to do a lot of setup before we're going to start actually attacking. Okay, so first we're going to safeguard so that we don't get poisoned while we're getting set up. Then we're going to go in our bag, max mushroom. Like I said, this raises every one of our stats. You can see here. We're going to use Nasty Plot, so it raises our special attack even further. Our health is not looking great here, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to heal. During the forest sequence, I actually picked up 2 healing items, a Hyper Potion and a Moo Moo Milk, and that is just so we could heal the full. We're going to Nasty Plot one more time to even further raise our special attack. And then finally, we're going to make our move, because we don't have, especially because we don't have Safeguard right now. So now we're going to take out Skorupi with Flamethrower. That is perfectly enough damage. And then, my dear Power Up with Pariad friends, we are going to Dynamax.
Yay!
Yeah, which is I always comment, and you'll see here shortly how funny it is to Dynamax when you have battle animations turned off. So we're gonna look at this epic sequence. We got our giant Pokeball. We're using our band. We got a giant Ninetales going on. Wow, so cool, so epic. You know, everything going on. Now watch when we turn to actually attack. Ready? Dink. It's just like the tiniest little dink. Boop, and you're gone. No battle animations mean we don't get to see the moves, so just a little dink. Just a little dink. Weezing and Whirlipede are not at all a problem, by the way. We just skate right through them. Blam and blam. All right, let's get good RNG in the chat, please. No quick draw. No quick draw, baby. Come on. No quick draw. Come on. No quick draw. Well, no right away. So hold on. After we use the move, come on. No quick draw. We got it. All right.
Well done.
Let's go. Let's go.
Game.
As long as we did not get quick draw, this is perfectly safe now. It will one shot guaranteed. What would happen is if quick draw had gone off, the Slowbro would use Max Geyser, which would right now, because I've been using Fire Blast, we have a Drought on the field, which is boosting my fire type abilities. If Slowbro would get to go first, it would use Max Geyser, which would change the terrain from Drought to Rain. And not only does that get rid of my boost, but Rain actually weakens fire type attacks in general. So we get from being boosted to being like nerfed. So we would not kill when it came to our turn. We would survive the Geyser because of all of our stat boosts, but we would not kill the Slowbro, unfortunately. Then we would de-Dynamax as well, because that would have been our third turn of attacking in Dynamax Swarm. Then we would have to have prayed that our next Fire Blast would hit, because we would then be in Drought again. So because we had gotten the last turn there, then we would have to pray that Fire Blast hits, and that would kill Slowbro if it did. But if it missed, then we'd just be dead. And we all saw earlier how inconsistent Fire Blast could be, let's say. So
Yeah, it's not very reliable.
yeah, exactly. But we are now, so now that Clara 3 is done, we are not fighting Clara anymore in the run. And 2, we are actually done with Ninetales completely as well now, because we are going to be moving on to Kubfu, who is the island's secret armor, quote unquote. And now we're going to be using Kubfu so that we can go over to one of the towers and evolve it, which is what will finish out this run of the DLC. After this cutscene happens, of course. So as soon as we gain control, we're going to be back in the dojo, and I'm going to walk in front of Mustard and then go out into my Switch menu and change the date again. So let me go here. Oh, not data management system. And we're going to change the date to October 15th, and it doesn't matter the time. And then we are going to save. The reason being, the reason why we change our date is because what we have to do now is we're going to get Kubfu here. We're going to have to train up our Kubfu a little bit, so we have to do a little bit of grinding. how we do the grinding in order to make it fast is that we will grind on Blisseys specifically, because Blisseys, one, we have a super effective move type against them, and two, they are big old sacks of experience points. You'll see after we fight the first Blissey, we're going to go up like 5 levels right away. So we're going to use them to grind on a little bit. So that is why we changed the date, because when we change the date, Blisseys will pop up there. They're still relatively uncommon. They're about 5% to pop up in any given spot. So it's relatively still uncommon to find them, unfortunately. So that's what we do to change the date. And the reason why we save here is because we need to have some certain stats, or else this Cubfu will not be runnable. So what we need to do is, the main stat that's going to matter for us is speed. So we're just going to make sure that our speed is high enough. And if it's really low, we're going to have to reset and get another Cubfu.
All right.
All right, so let's take a look here. Speed is great, actually. So
awesome.
There we go. So we can deposit Ninetales, and we are good to go. Run outside. Now we just need some more RNG in a different way, which is that we want Blisseys to spawn fast. So let's get some good Blisseys here, hopefully. All right, so we're just going to be looking around in these grass areas right out front of the dojo here in order to see some big pink blobs spawn, and hopefully we can take them out pretty quickly. Like I said, even it's 5% in any given spot, but that also means it's 5% in any spot. So you might be thinking, oh, it's 5% for a Blissey to pop up. That's too rare of an encounter to grind on. But it's 5% at any spot. So when we're walking around here, it's like spot. It can pop up pretty quickly. So hopefully we get some that pop up relatively fast. But we are not seeing any, unfortunately, yet. And if you might be thinking, well, is it worth it just to grind on other Pokemon in the meantime, right? We'll walk around, we'll grind on some others while we wait for Blisseys to pop up, or just grind on others to begin with instead of Blissey. But the amount of experience points is substantially different between any other Pokemon we could fight here. Oh, a Bunnyary popped up in between us and Blissey. However, that's fine because we're just going to run, and Bunnyary, the Blissey rather, will still be here, so it's fine. Not a problem. There we go. Just had to get there. So Blisseys can range between levels 10 and 15 here. Having a high level one as your first one is a bit annoying. So yeah, we got 14. So this is a little bit annoying. Luckily, our speed is really good, so we still get to go first. But the reason why it's annoying is exactly for this move right here, which is Life Dew. Because anything prior to that, it won't know Life Dew. Oh, great. We got a crit. So, oh, wait, no, we didn't even get a crit. That's awesome. So it can just continuously heal itself, which is why it's a little bit annoying. But luckily, we got through it in 2 hits, which is really great. And then you saw there, oh, wow. Oh, no, it ran into a wall. That we immediately upped 5 levels. We're probably going to get to level 20-ish or so with Blisseys, depending on how fast they spawn and things of that nature. But you did see something just unfortunate there. You saw briefly that another Blissey popped up, which was great. You turn around real fast. However, because it walked into a wall, that despawned, which is very unfortunate, because that would have been really great to get 2 back-to-back like that. But we got our second one here. But yeah, other than that, it's just grinding on some Blisseys here. If we got any more plugs or if any donations have come through, now's a great time while we do some grinding.
All right. See, I would like to remind you that we still have some very important incentives, and before you can run to, we still have about $1,200 short to meet the Beatmania incentive, just to get the really hard song showcase. We're also just over $500 short to meet the Benny BDBG trinket for the BBBBB run. And we still have the extra bonus run for Super Monkey Ball available by Helix. So if they will do the Monkey Ball 2 with the subtitle run with the commentary by the author of the hack. You still have plenty of time to get those donations going.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of really neat stuff that we definitely need to see in this marathon. So let's get those donations in post haste.
Yep. I'd like to remind you that you're watching Winter Pride 2020. We've been running from December 11th to December 13th. If you missed any runs from the marathon so far and you'd like to see them, you can find them loaded after the marathon in our YouTube channel. You can also stay up to date on this event and any future events by following us on Twitter or joining our Discord server. Link to all of this can be found in the banners below the stream or by using exclamation social in the chat. You are currently watching a Pokemon Sword and Shield speedrun, Tower of Two Fists, Get Urshifu, by Conception. And so far has been very much of a blast.
Yeah, I agree. It's been really fun so far. I appreciate you hopping in with commentary and stuff there and answering questions as well is really great. So I appreciate your help in that regard. This should be our last Blissey, by the way. So we're going to be done grinding, which is great. If we had gotten a really high level Blissey prior to that, we would have been in good shape on the last one. But we got literally the lowest level it could have been. So a little unfortunate there. But we're done grinding now. We're enough. So the next step that we have to do to be able to progress into being able to go into one of the towers is that our Cubfu's friendship level has to be high. So the way we do this in the run and how you do it even casually is that you're going to go to several different spots on the map and kind of bond with Cubfu over the scenery. It's somewhat comical to do it in the date that we have set up because most of the scenery is just not like pretty to look at because we kind of have like nasty weather and fogginess and stuff like that. So I always like to point that out and laugh a little bit. But we're going to hit up 3 different spots here. This is the first one. So everyone enjoy this nice scenery of a dark cave, I guess. Beautiful, right? Who wouldn't bond over this?
It's just missing the swords.
Yeah. So that's the first one. And then we're going to head back through the forest that we were in originally, a little bit before when we were on the second challenge, and hopefully dodging Pokemon on the way. There we go. And then we're going to go. We're going to go up to. So we're actually going to head. We are going to head into the same cave that we were in for the second challenge, but that is going to be towards the last point we have. So when we cross through the forest here, we are going to. We're going to head instead of going to the cave. We're actually going to head to the right-hand side, and that is going to be up the stairs, actually towards one of the towers. There's another dojo student up there that will have another view for us to look at, and then we'll head back into the cave for the third view. And then we'll do another death warp. We are also going to pick up some key items that are going to be important for the tower that we fight in. If you're unfamiliar with the story, so what happens now is what is meant to happen, even in a casual setting, is we're training up our Cubfu. And the reason why we're training up our Cubfu is we need it to be strong enough to take on one of the towers. Because when we go in the towers, as long as you still have Cubfu is the only Pokemon that you can use in the tower. So we train it up, and then you pick between one of 2 towers, the Tower of Water or the Tower of Darkness. And based on which tower you win and complete, your Cubfu will evolve into Urshifu into one of 2 different types, which would be Water or Dark, obviously. We would do Dark anyway because it's faster in terms of the trainers inside the tower. However, we also don't have a choice. We have to do Dark because the Water Tower is surrounded by water, and we have no way of crossing it right now because we don't have a bike that skates across the water like you're meant to do in the casual game. So we wouldn't even be able to do Water Tower if we wanted to. But we wouldn't want to anyway because Dark Tower is faster for what we're going to be doing. So we got our second viewpoint done there, a nice, beautiful landscape when, again, kind of like terrible weather, like rainy, gross looking weather. And then we're going to go to our third viewpoint, which is by far the most beautiful. And I'm not being sarcastic at all.
In the meantime, while we make it there, we have a $200 donation from Megma Vertak. Hi Sparko, I can watch you live. I wanted to say good luck and also needs you're more likely to play my favorite song. It says hi and also says that some of this should go to Scraggle's pets. This is another donation and we're getting a lot closer to beat the incentive for the really hard songs for the Beatmania block. We still have a ways to go to get there, so if you're gonna get your donations in, that will be very welcome. You definitely don't wanna miss that impressive showcase.
Speaking of impressive, take a look at this beautiful viewpoint. Just a desert of dustiness and grossness. Who would not bond over this? It's beautiful. That's our third viewpoint, but we are going to grab a couple extra items. Thank you so much for that massive donation, by the way. Just incredible generosity. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you so much. I appreciate that we're watching footage of Silent Hill at this moment.
It feels very Silent Hill-y, doesn't it? Yeah, it's just like foggy and dusty and gross. Yeah, so but before we death warp, we're grabbing two key items. First one is a Rocky helmet, which when you equip a Rocky helmet to a Pokemon, whenever a physical move is done against you, the person who did the Pokemon rather who did the move against you will also receive damage, which will be key for one of our fights in the tower. And the second move we grabbed was a TR for reversal, which is going to be a very important move for the tower as well. Now we're going to run back here, say hello to our friend Squirtle again, because we're going to bop him out real quick instead of Cubfu, and we're going to do a death warp off of this Rhyperior here. Now, I could just use Cubfu. I could. And in past marathon runs, I have. But here, two things I'm doing here. One, who doesn't want to see our good friend Squirtle again, right? We want to see some Squirtle. But two...
Everyone wants to see Squirtle.
Yeah, we want to see Squirtle, obviously. But two, the second thing I did, the reason why I do this, is because in practice lately, in the past couple of practice runs that I did, I death warped using Cubfu. And then for some reason, whenever your Pokemon faints, your friendship level will actually go down a little bit. And for some reason, whoops, that was weird. Whoa, hold on, going off the rails here. There we go. For some reason, whenever I death warped using Cubfu, the last couple times that I did it, it was just enough to not have enough friendship to progress the story. So I had to jump in a Pokemon camp and play with toys with our Cubfu until the friendship level went back up. Which is very cute, but it loses time. So we didn't want to lose time there. Might as well lose just a few seconds to swap instead to make sure that Cubfu still likes us enough. So now that we have this cutscene happen, we know our Cubfu's friendship level is fine. So we know that that is all set, no worries. The last thing we got to do is just head on over to the tower, defeat the people in the tower, and this run will be over. Just like that.
So the tower is really important, and it's built in several floors. It involves 5 battles, and if you lose in any of them, you have to go all the way back.
That is correct. Yep, absolutely correct. So first things first, we're going to do a couple things here. One, we're going to use that rare candy that I grabbed all the way at the beginning so that we're level 21, and that is just purely for safety. Because we can actually go into this tower at a lot lower of a level than 21. But 21 is just like for absolute safety. You could go into the tower as low as 15 and still make it out fine. But you know, we're not risking that in a marathon run. It's a little bit too dangerous for my taste. So we go up a couple extra levels just to ensure that we get through just fine. And then the second thing we did is we taught reversal to Cubfu over the move Focus Energy. So here's the strategy that's going to occur in the tower. The moves that we know are Rock Smash, as you know. Then we also know Leer, which we're not going to really use unless we probably will use it once as a stall, but otherwise we don't use it at all in the tower. And then the last two moves that we have are Endure and Reversal. And these two moves used in conjunction are really powerful. So first, let's talk about Endure. Endure is a move that will, if you are meant to be KO'd by a move, and you used Endure previous to that move, you will survive with 1 HP, which is really valuable, really great. Now, Reversal is a fighting type move that's power increases the lower your health is. So what our strategy is that we will use Endure often to get us to 1 HP, and then use Reversal so that our attacks are very powerful and will one-shot our enemies. It's a very, very interesting and fun strategy. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to run this run when I had originally seen it, because that strategy is very impressive to me that somebody figured this out. So one of the cooler strategies in my opinion.
Yep. That's one of the cool parts of Pokemon in general, especially when you're building strategies fit for competitive or for speedrunning. There's a lot of cool, neat interactions that happen between moves.
Yeah, there's a lot of synergy between moves. That's what makes a Pokemon really strong and competitive, which is very interesting. And then here we are at the Dark Tower. So this is what the tower we're going to be going through. As Akuya mentioned, we are going to be skating through all 5 floors here. Hopefully skating through all 5 floors, I should say. But if we do die, then we would have to restart at the beginning. However, any fight that I find that is going to be dangerous, I'm just going to save in front of anyway. So we don't have to restart the whole tower. But these first 2 fights are very safe, so we don't really have to worry about anything. Even the 3rd fight is safe, I would say. But the 4th and the 5th fights are the ones that are a little bit hairy. You might have caught it there as well, but the trainer out front of the tower recommends that Kubfu be level 30 before entering the tower, which is just that's too obnoxious of a level. We don't need it to be level 30. It's fine. We are perfectly fine. Ooh, we got a one shot there, so our attack is really good if we got a one shot, so that's gonna save us a wee bit of time. Usually that takes 2 rock smashes, but because we're very over leveled in combination with what I assume is a good attack level, then that is why that went pretty well. So first trainer down. Second trainer. It has a Scraggy, and this is where this is the Pokemon that we might stall on. We might have to stall 2 turns if our health is really high. I gotta look at our health actually, 1 second. Yeah, our health is really high, so I'm actually gonna do something slightly different here, but it's perfectly fine. Which is instead, we would use the Endure Reversal strategy here, but because our health is so high, we're not going to stall because it's actually slower to stall here because we'd have to stall an extra turn. It's actually faster just to Rock Smash and get through it, and then we'll stall on the next Pokemon instead. I will, however, save where I normally wouldn't here, just in case things go a little awry and we end up dying, do a crit or something like that.
Yep.
Just to be safe. So this 3rd trainer has an Inkay, which is normally fine. Uses Slash or Night Slash a lot. I believe what we can do, I don't think we would die to 1 attack, so we're going to stall, then Endure, then Reversal. And that's going to be the strategy here. We're going to stall with Leer, which lowers the defense anyway, so it makes it more likely that we will survive. And then we're going to Endure. Now we're at 1 HP. I know it seems scary, but it's fine. Don't worry. Reversal. Boom. All right, so now the next trainer is where it gets a little bit hairy, like I had mentioned. So what we're going to do is they're actually going to heal up just a little bit before this trainer. We're going to use a potion. And we will go ahead and use a Oran Berry here just to give us a little tiny bit extra health. And then we're going to save again just for safety. So this trainer has a Krokorok. What we're going to be looking to do here is hopefully it happens on turn 1, but we're going to just straight out use Reversal right away. And what we hope to happen is that Krokorok will use Assurance or Sand Tomb on the first turn, which will weaken us, and then our Reversal will be strong enough to kill in 1 shot. The other alternative, which I was just about to say, and of course happens, is that it'll just use Protect on the first turn, which is just a waste. Just a complete waste of 1 turn. And that is what is meant to happen. But that Krokorok loves to use Protect, so I fully expected that to happen. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty common from what I've seen.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all good. That's all normal. No problems. And then the last and final trainer is, of course, Mustard. But we're going to do a couple things before we even start the fight with Mustard. One of which is obviously going to be saving. But the second, we're going to do a few things. So let's go over to our health. So we're going to use the Moo Moo Milk, full heal. Oops. And then we are going to equip the Rocky helmet that we picked up before. And then we're going to save.
I was about to ask.
Yep, we just need it for. We could have equipped it early. It would have made for like some slightly interesting things, but equipping it early could actually just lose us time with extra text boxes and stuff. It doesn't make it dangerous. It makes it more safe, but we don't really need it, so there's no point in equipping it early. But this is what we use it for, which is Mustard 2 fight. Which luckily Mustard 2 only has one Pokemon in this fight, and the Pokemon will probably look pretty familiar. Cubfu. Cubfu v Cubfu. Spider-Man memes in the chat.
Okay, we appreciate Master's outfit here and his look.
Yeah. The eyebrows go Super Saiyan here, which is really good. Instead of being droopy, now they're kind of sticking straight up. So that's excellent. So we're going to start the fight using Max Mushrooms, which, if you recall, raises all of our stats, which is great. Cubfu is going to hit us hard here because Cubfu is super effective against us. Voila. So we expect that. Now, Cubfu got some damage on it for hitting us. We're going to use Endure. Going to be dropped to 1 HP. And this fight alone is exactly why speed matters, because it is very important for our Cubfu to outspeed Mustard's Cubfu, just like it did. If that Cubfu was slower, we'd just be dead. We would be dead here. The strategy wouldn't work. So because we outsped that Cubfu, our Endure reversal strategy works, and we have defeated Mustard. All right.
Nice.
And that is the last fight of the run. We're not quite done with the run because we still have to get Urshifu. That's part of the category. And then we just have to get through the last cutscene. So time is coming up rather soon. But there isn't anything of note speed tech wise. So I'll kind of, I know since we're running a little bit behind schedule wise, I'll kind of do my outro stuff here before time. So one, thank you to all of the staff and crew and everyone involved with Power Up with Pride. This is my first Pride event that I've gotten lucky enough to be able to run in, and I hope to get to do a lot more in the future. Just an excellent crew, raising money for an excellent cause. The Trevor Project is very near and dear to my heart, so I can't thank everybody involved with this event enough for not only having me, but just for hosting it as a whole. It's very important. If you're interested in running this run, of course, feel free to hop on over to our speedrun.com page. This is actually on the Sword and Shield category extensions leaderboard. So feel free to take a look at that page. There are guides, and then there's also a link to the Switch speedrunning, Pokemon speedrunning Discord as well, if you're interested. We're always willing to help out new runners and answer questions and everything like that, so feel free to come on by. And then lastly, if you like Pokemon speedruns or speedruns of quirky games, for example, I've recently been running Bug Snacks. If you like games like that, feel free to come on by my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/conception2. Very wholesome community, very welcoming of everybody. Come on by, we'll have a good time. But here it is. Here's Urshifu. We got Urshifu. We've met the qualifications for the run. We have to wait till the fade out, and then it will be time. But yeah, that's all I had to say for shout outs and stuff like that. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, donating, and putting this event on. Time is coming up, and time.
Wonderful round.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just wanted to see my in-game time. But yeah, I already did all of my shout-outs, so we're ready to move on. Enjoy the rest of the run. Stick around for Beat Mania and Super Monkey Ball and all this great stuff we have left on the schedule.
Thank you so much. This is my first one as well. Then thank you so much for having me hosting in this marathon. I'm really proud. And enjoy the rest of the night. We still have a lot to go, and I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye.